Hi everyone, I am happy to see you here on my channel and I hope you will have fun seeing me create this mini page. I will be creating this page in the Stamperia A6 stone paper journal. As you can see, I haven't created many pages in it, but honestly I really like the quality of the paper in this journal. And it can handle a lot of water without wrapping, which is important since I will be using Colourcraft Brusho. This color is Cobalt blue, but I still wanted some shimmer, so in this mini spray bottle I mixed simple water and Ranger's Perfect Pearls in Confetti white color. But before I start creating mess, I wanted to protect my other pages using just simple paper from some bills or whatever. And since this will be one page layout, I'm also protecting the next page. Anyway, first of all, I will apply some Brusho directly on my dry page. This color is beautiful because it has some blue and some purple pigments, as you will see just in a second. And I will activate the color with my pearly water. I am applying a quite generous amount of the powder because the idea was to cover most of the page. I am shaking my mini spray bottle because the mica from the Perfect Pearls fell to the bottom. And now look at that color explosion. It's really beautiful, isn't it? For more control over where the color spreads, I will use a little bit my brush as well, but honestly, whether you use the brush or not depends only on the effect that you are going for. Another technique that I like to do with this kind of coloring is to use the transparent foil. Recently, I believe I posted a page where I use this technique. I will give you the link for that video if you are curious. But this time I decided to go more simple, as later on I will do some stenciling. And here you can see how my colors looked when dry. Of course, you can see the colors got a bit paler, but in this case I was really fine with it. And just look at that nice shimmer effect. Anyway, it was now time for a second step in my background, and that's some stenciling. This particular stencil is from AALL Create. I will leave the link for it in the description box down below. And now, using Art by Marlene ink blending brush, I will apply some Wilted Violet Distress Oxide ink. As I mentioned earlier, this Cobalt blue Brusho has some purple pigments as well in it, so I thought adding purple color would be best in this case, so I don't introduce too many colors. This is the first time that I have used this stencil, and I had it in my stash for quite a while, and I must say I really like this stencil. It really looks great. Anyway, I'm applying the color a bit randomly, still trying not to cover the entirety of my page. Now, the last thing that I missed for my backgrounds were some white accents, and this time I decided to use my favorite Rub-Ons from Stamperia. You guys know how hard it can be sometimes to add some white script over already colored background. I mean, it can be done, but it's a little bit tricky. So perfect and fastest solution is to add some white rub-ons. As you will see when I show the final results, this script still stays quite vibrant against my blue background. Once again, I am applying this element for my background a bit randomly. Here I am trying not to transfer the script perfectly. Instead, I wanted it a little bit interrupted, so I don't get the full block of text, as I think that way it looks more natural. Now the final step for my background are some white splatters, and this time for this effect I will use Winsor & Newton ink in white color. Of course, if you don't have it, you can use either white acrylic paint, even white gesso is fine. Now here you can see from what stamp my inspiration came from. It is from AALL Create and it is called Wish. To be honest, I colored this stamp a while ago, because sometimes when I don't have inspiration to create art journals, I just color. And later on I have already pre-prepared focal images for my pages. But one thing I will tell is that I colored it with alcohol markers. Now, I didn't feel like my girl just being slapped there in the middle of my page. So I thought to give it something to stand on, and I decided to draw a moon. Now, I guess a lot of you have a moon stamp or a die cut which you can use. I have it too, but this time what inspired me to draw the moon instead of just stamping it is the little star in the girl's hands. If you take a closer look, it's a little imperfect shape star, and that's what gives it its charm. So inspired by that, I decided to draw my own moon and couple of stars. Moon is a pretty easy shape to draw, but as you can see, even I struggled a bit to get the shape that I imagined in my head, but there is some fun in little struggles too. For drawing I was using a simple graphite pencil, and once I get the shape that I am happy with, I will reinforce my lines using a permanent ink marker. Here is the part where I will try to reinforce my lines. I had a little struggle with my dried up Pigment Micron, but luckily I have a couple of more in my stash, so it wasn't a big problem. After the lines were reinforced, I will use a couple of distress oxides to color my images. At this point I wasn't going for any kind of perfect coloring, I just wanted to add a couple of shades so my images wouldn't look so flat. The colors that I chose are Antique Linen, Fossilized Amber and Wild Honey. Now, of course, the next step was to fussy cut the elements. And I guess you guys who follow my channel know what I will do next, but I will tell it anyway. I will use Pigment Micron brush pen in black color to go over the edges of my paper elements. That way I will get rid of those white edges and the cuts will look more neat. Now, I know I said this 100 times over, but I'm going to say it again. Every magical art journal page needs a little bit of shimmer and glitter. And this time I will use Art by Marlene Special Effect Glamour Glitter in gold color. I will apply it on the moon, stars and the wings of my little girl. Once that was dry, I will start figuring out my layout and adhering the elements. This time I opted to use a liquid glue, and this particular one is from Art by Marlene Sticky Multi Glue. The last step for this page will be adding a sentiment, in this case a word, and my word comes from AALL Create Tiny Words White, though I will make it not so white, using a watercolor brush in blue color so it wouldn't stand out too much. This was all for this art journal page. I hope you enjoyed my video, and if you did, please like, subscribe or leave me a comment. It really means a lot to me. And of course, have a nice crafty day. Bye!